through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes, where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews, to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews, to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah. Steam it up in your YouTube, bro, let's roll.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronin, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Reserved Seats. Tonight, we control the vertical, we control the horizontal. I want to say hello to everyone currently following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to a few people who've joined us here in the live chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Faithful Blue Wrench, the bird woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's kind of glaring. Bringing the Geeky Geezers Raid, my co-host on live from Sparkwood 21, Netters Network, channel member. The host of Geeky Geezers, another one of my co-hosts from live from Sparkwood 21. Aged Boomer. Welcome to FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. All right. My guest is waiting patiently backstage, so let's not waste any time, and let's get him here. All right. The host and creator of After Hours Karaoke, Western Cinema Presents, an action theater, the CEO of the Outlaw Bill Sports Network, the toxic gunslinger, the man who cannot be killed, Outlaw Bill.
Hello.
Alrighty. Good evening, Bill. Let me start off by first off thanking you for agreeing to take the time out of your evening to join me for the show. And formerly, Tim.
Formerly, well, still one and the same.
Yes, and you may.
We won't let you and hang you up on the nearest branch. You know.
Indeed.
We're one and the same. We're just minus the affiliation with that galaxy far, far away.
All right, so we were doing one of our shows last week, and you were asking me if I had anybody for tonight's show. And I said I did not, and you volunteered your time, which made things a lot easier for me. I didn't have to ask around. So I reckoned, okay, this is a man who definitely has something he wants to say. So definitely. So, few things been going on here in the last week or two that I know that you probably want to hit on, and of course, we have been discussing of late, you and I, the foibles of keeping one of these here channels running, because YouTube does not always make it easy, number one.
No, they don't.
And number two, sometimes you have to deal with other platforms, and they they have their own rules too of late. And then, of course, you got to deal with what could be the failure of certain of certain platforms at times as well. So
or dying platforms.
yeah, I also true.
Yeah, I'm not speaking of that one. Twitch. I'm not speaking of you. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not.
You're not.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, no, not
I was never
really.
really like a Twitch guy, to be honest. Twitch gives me the creeps. So I never really, I never really went near that.
Oh. It's been on its last leg for a long time, but it's holding on. It's holding on like somebody who survived one of them fishy attacks.
I do want to say hello to Enigma Severus, my co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast. Hello to Cheer Art Creations. Tried watching The Kid, couldn't get into it. I liked it. I was surprised, and I went into that. I went into that with some trepidation, but I came through it thinking, it was pretty good, pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but it's
Yeah, I suppose.
It is what it is. What, like it, take it or leave it. Speaking about leaving it, you know that that horror film that you reviewed that you have in high regards. I'm starting to have second thoughts about that film. It's one of those ones where at first watch you really don't like and you kind of hate it. Well, I'm starting to like it a little bit more and appreciate it a little bit more. The film in question, in case you don't know, is Obsession. Directed, created and directed by a YouTuber.
Indeed.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
Well, maybe that's where entertainment should go. Since we're doing so well, us YouTubers who have ventured and made our own films. Who knows? Maybe one of these days you'll see a deleted scenes directed film, or a direct or a co film production from deleted scenes and the Outlaw. You never know. It could happen.
You never know. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I mean,
something that I can see on the horizon.
Well, I have said for a while now, be the competition, and obviously some people have taken me up on that. I mean, obviously not directly. I don't think I'm not taking responsibility for like any of this, but it's something that I am that I'm happy to see, regardless of what you may think of like the final product of any of these films. But I'm glad to see it, and it's a trend that I hope continues. But we'll see, because I honestly think it's time to it's time to kick Hollywood to the curb. It just is. And yeah, I went into this a little bit earlier, and I don't want to rehash that. But it is time that we start making our own entertainment, because Hollywood in 2026 has decided they want to go into a certain direction.
Yeah.
And it is certainly not one that I intend to follow them into.
Also, in many ways, us as YouTubers, as we're already in a lot of competition with the major networks and those who have the means to do so. It might be in our evolution to become where we're in a way being forced to become better creators, because the entertainment that we once looked forward, aka Hollywood, is dying, or is almost. I mean, it's on life support, and maybe we're the ones who can change things, as we were discussing earlier. Um, the success YouTubers are having some success with their individual properties and original materials, with their own productions and filmmaking. Something that I enthused and I am fully behind. One thing, production is such as a film. It costs, though. Of course, there's a great deal of cost, time, and effort to get it done. But where there's a will, there's a way, and things can get done. Wouldn't you agree?
Indeed. It's I get it. It is not easy to get a movie made, and we've discussed this during some of the watch parties that we've had, that one of the things that sometimes you can see the ambition there on screen, but but you can also tell that there's not always the budget there. So that plays into it too. And one of the things that harms an independent feature is the fact that you don't have the advertising budget.
Yeah.
Always as well. Like, for example, let's take, for example, the film that we saw today, The Kid. Now, when that movie came out in 2019, I didn't hear about it until it hit VOD, even though it did have a theatrical run, brief though it was. And that does happen a lot with independent features, because one of the things about about the multiplexes, or at least the idea early on for a multiplex, was the fact that you could have, like, of course, your big budget tentpole films, and then you would also have the smaller independent films next to it. But of course, the problem was no one went to the smaller films. Everybody was going to, like, Transformers 6 or whatever. And then you would go to those theaters and half of the screens are, Transformers or Avatar, and then the smaller movies are getting pushed out. So, that's another thing to be um, to have in mind is it's sort of stacked against you. I don't want to like discourage anybody from, that's not what I'm trying to do. But the thing is that what also has to be understood is the fact that the smaller the budget you have, Obsession was a movie that was going to go straight to YouTube. That was the idea, and then, Focus, he lucked into that deal with Focus Features and got the extra money, and the rest is the rest is history. But some filmmakers are not always that lucky, but if you go into something, for example, like fan films, and the thing about the fan films is that they are better than the movies that are coming out in
Right.
in theaters. I mean, I've seen some of these movies, like for Halloween, for Predator, for Batman, that are better than the Halloween, Predator, and Batman films are actually getting. And I'm like, these are the people that Hollywood should be going to make these films, to get. You want to get the fans back, bring fans in to make the films. But the thing is that two things happened. Number one, they went safe. They went, quote unquote, with what works, which is why you're seeing so many of these sequels, and you're seeing so many bless you, older television shows being that should just like stay gone for a while. Star Trek, and that should just kind of be left alive. You see them getting brought back, and if you're going to bother to do that at all, I just say bring in people who care about it. It's not just about the money to them, bring in people who know the lore and can add to it in a way that makes sense, or can make something else within that world. And hopefully we get more of that. I would like to see more original films, and one-offs. Just make a one-off movie.
Yeah.
Everything does not have to have 6 sequels. It doesn't need spin-offs. You don't need everything to be a shared universe. And there are subtle ways, where you can set movies within the same universe and then be real and throw in these little subtle references that make someone go, hey, is that, makes you think. It's a thought. I don't know. But it's something that, and hello to the Horror King, it's something that I would like to see more of. Would be more original films in original under 2 hours, which is another thing. Every movie does not need to be 3 hours. if it's a biopic or a historical epic, I could see going over 2 hours. But most movies don't need that much. That's my opinion. So how about you, Bill? I mean, what would you like to see more of?
Definitely more originality. There's been a lack of originality and integration in film. I think that's why, or in our time, in back in the '80s and the '70s and mid '90s, most or some most or half of the '90s anyway. Um, that the best some of the best films were released. They said the films that stay with you, that are more memorable and stick with you, and just never they never lose continuity, and just supreme awesomeness and greatness. Films today, they get made, and they're easy. They're so easy, go forgettable, and like it's like, oh yeah, I saw that. I can't tell you what happened in it because it's like there's nothing that stays with you anymore. And these the word that's come up that people use, popcorn flicks.
Mhm.
Popcorn flicks where you just gotta go turn off your brain because there's a whole lot of stuff that is oh yeah, oh gee, that's lame or that's stupid, and that's how the industry of those folks and from Tinseltown have been treating such. And I don't see how, as you can see, uh, it's not working for long term sustainability with as far as making money and people enjoying and liking the product, the end result of of the said entertainment or property. So that is definitely one area. Yep. Like I said, it's just happening. Stay tuned to the whether it be here on YouTube, content creators like the lead scenes and myself.
I'm sure that there's somebody out there right now that is prepping something.
Yeah.
So because I'm thinking, where is like the next obsession going to come from? Where's the next backrooms? You know, uh, and I'm sure somebody is kind of working on that as we speak. You know, it's like saying I'd rather talk about how smart a movie is rather than how dumb it is. Ever you can talk about both when it comes to the airplane movies. Yeah, and I would like to see somebody go back to that kind of comedy.
Well,
And
that's therein lies the problem because somebody somewhere will always be offended by something that is said or something that is done or how it's presented across to the viewer, the spectator. there's always, cancel culture and the way of the world has deemed uh, comedy, well, sometimes out of bounds. But you just gotta say, like just like Rissy Missus, what the fuck or fuck it,
Yeah.
you gotta say fuck it. I'm gonna do, and I don't care who it offends. I don't care whose prissy little feelings are gonna be hurt. If you can't take it, you don't have to come see or hear. But if something we say or do or act and you don't like it in any type of way, our goal is to be one thing, entertaining. And if we're a comedy, we're gonna do stuff to make you laugh. So we're gonna make fun of things. It's comedy. It shouldn't be out of bounds. It should not be what's the word I'm looking for? Um obscure, maybe? Um out of bounds. I don't care. I'm doing it to make people laugh, to make people enjoy. And if I hurt your feelings, tough shit. That's your own freaking fucking problem.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is that it's like they are worried about offending someone. And I'm like, that's the problem. We can't be worried about offending people, because you have people who have just decided that they're going to be just perpetually insulted by everything, and that everything is like some kind of attack on them when it isn't.
Yeah.
And it takes away from the enjoyment factor, because you now have made, my opinion has always been this: if you take away everything that offended everybody, nothing would be left.
No.
And that's kind of the problem with these movies these days, is that they have been so worried about, somebody's feelings getting hurt or offending someone, or,
Or
all of this stuff. And it's just like, you can't worry about that. Write the story you want to write. Make the movie that you want to make. Yeah, right. And if you're so busy worried about what's going to, I'll put it to you this way: if you're anybody who is listening to this show right now, who's interested in writing their own book or making their own film, comic book, whatever, think of something that you would like to watch, something that you would like to read. What is the best movie that's ever been made, that hasn't been made because you haven't made it yet? Write what you like. Write what you enjoy. Take moments out of your own life if you want to do that. Don't remake Star Trek. Leave Star Trek alone. Create something new. Create another space adventure. Go make your own Star Trek with your own characters. But it seems like they are afraid to do it. And one of the reasons why I think it is up to us is because we don't have that fear. I can follow that advice. I can sit down, I could write something out. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but I try. And you can't worry about offending anyone. Just as you would in life, stay true to yourself. At least that's my opinion on it. Anyway, yeah, yeah, I can. That's my opinion. But you know,
and
that
I think we're seeing with directors who were once really, really good at their craft, we're seeing as their age, they're failing. I'm talking about specifically in my mind right now that I'm thinking of Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, who went and made that film, The Odyssey, because in any DIE'd and did it because he wants to win awards. Well, now he's not going to win any awards. Well, he might because that's what
probably will.
Their in this industry, likes and enjoys because that's how they are. But he's been butchered over multiple platforms and social media. How lousy they've become because the DEI hires and casting choices, it's really it's kind of sad and pathetic in a way to see these ones. Nolan he's made some great films. Spielberg's made some great films, but then they go make these films that like what what the hell was that? What was that? What?
Yeah.
Why did you waste time and money on that? I don't understand it.
Something to do. I don't know. It's just that.
I saw one
Go ahead.
preview on Spielberg's Disclosure Day, and for a moment I was intrigued, but then the people who have seen it and they went and talked about it, and no, I don't need to go waste my time and efforts with that, or even attempting to watch that because all I'd be doing is losing my own personal time. And I don't know about you, deleted scenes, but my time is personal and it matters to me.
It does.
Why am I going to waste 2 hours watching this film that I know it's awful? What you could be doing it for one thing to make content for whatever platform you're producing for, whether it be Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, Twitter,
Well, yeah, my time is important to me, and one of the things that I decided upon, because I do this mystery movie night program, right?
Yeah.
Which is essentially a from review show, and I went in and I got the group together and I said, look, if you reach a point with a movie that you feel like you're wasting your time and you need to walk out, go ahead. Because why waste the time when you could be watching something better, when you could be doing other things. We're all busy people. Everybody who's on that show has jobs.
Yeah.
That's the thing that go on YouTube for a couple of hours and you're rolling in dough. No, that's not how this works. Everybody I personally know who is on YouTube has a job, or they're
And
lucky, and or they have to go out and make some kind of income, which I'm not necessarily saying that means like a 9 to 5 job, but everybody I know has to go out and earn in some way. And so anybody who's thinking that, oh, you're just grifters or you're getting paid off, or those aren't the people that I hang out with. Are there people who are like that on YouTube? Oh, hell yes.
yeah.
Do I watch those channels? I do not. My whole channel is built on being straight with the people who are watching. So I am not somebody who's like going to shill for anybody. I'm not looking for trinkets. I don't want goodie bags. I could care less about any of that stuff. Have I been involved in however brief a way in getting a film made? Yes. Have I been paid directly? No. And I knew that was the deal going in. So I am not against doing that. There's nothing wrong with backing these things.
No.
I wish I could do more to get some movies made. Because you and I both know people who are trying to get things made and finished up and stuff like that. But they kind of hit that rail of they don't necessarily have the money, and they know that the people who are willing to back them are kind of in the same boat. I know a couple of things that are going on behind the scenes that's kind of where they're stuck right now. Is they need financial backing and they don't have it. Now, fuck. What's your question? I kind of went off on such a tangent there. But yeah, it is. We're not swimming in dough. We're regular people, but we do kind of want to put our money where our mouth is, and go out and make something, yeah, I would love to do something that gets made. So not something where I could start to finish back a film, not just in this way of sort of coming in when it's already written or already made, I want to shepherd something from start to finish, from idea to premiere. Now, do I have the wherewithal to do that? I don't. But who knows? Sometime down the line, maybe I will. And that's one of the things I'm talking about, Shurok, is it is a challenge to get people to watch, because that's where the marketing comes in. And that's why I think marketing is so important. And one of the reasons why I didn't bother watching the Odyssey was the fact that during that whole, publicity junket, no one was talking about the film. Everybody was talking about politics. And why didn't Homer write this? And why didn't Homer write it that way? Well, guess what, lady? That was 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And,
It's been
Homer
some time.
wasn't thinking about politics in 2026, And then, I run into these people on Twitter and whatnot who are like, well, you're really missing out. And this is like this life-changing event. And I'm going, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. Yeah. I'm tired of politics and everything too, True.
Yeah.
I just want an entertaining, I just want an entertaining movie. I mean, where are the politics in Rocky? Where are the politics in Predator? Where are the politics in Lethal Weapon? There aren't, well, maybe part 2, but I think it was, okay, you can shoot those guys. But I want to get back to the old days where you could just sit down and watch an entertaining movie or an entertaining television show from the past, where it wasn't politics and everything wasn't some kind of agenda or message, it wasn't this constant, we got to hit everybody over the head with this stuff, and that's what I'm talking about. And the movies that I have liked the most this year, for example, the movies that I think are the best ones have avoided a lot of that. Where's the politics in I Swear? There isn't any. Where are the politics in Project Hail Mary? There isn't.
No.
Obsession. I wasn't offended by anything in that movie. If you are, I think you're just looking for something, which is another thing that we got to be careful of too, is looking for things, because that just comes off like, oh, there's a woman in it, so it's woke. No. We got to avoid looking like that too, So this is like a double-edged sword. I'm a big fan of that one too. Yeah, I'm just saying that I've noticed that the movies that I've liked the most have completely avoided politics of any kind.
And we're halfway through the year.
Yeah. And
more than half.
More than half. And Horror King brings up Iron Lung. Iron Lung's another example. You've basically got a guy in a submarine in an ocean of blood for 2 hours. There's no politics there. Just basically Event Horizon in a 10 fucking can. That's what you have. And Markiplier, more power to you, man.
I tell
Financed
you,
it himself. And from what I understand, follows the game, that follows the source material pretty closely.
that's cool. There's there's one film that I'm looking forward to that I recently became aware of. It's been having a lot of press, and I play Rocky. That's looking pretty good. An autobiography on how Rocky came to be. What are your opinions on that?
Oh, for sure. I was a little worried about it, to be honest. And I was like, oh, please, don't mess this up.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, what would be cool? All right, 1976, Rocky gets released in theaters. You're in the middle of the bicentennial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's going on in film in 1976, in the 70s in general? You're getting a lot of these post-Vietnam, post-Watergate, very cynical, usually a dark ending kind of a film. And then here comes Rocky, written and starring a guy nobody really knew. Stallone wasn't Stallone yet. He had been in movies,
Yep.
but he wasn't a star. He was a supporting player in a lot of stuff that he had done up to that point, and he writes this movie and gets the idea in his head that, I'm going to star.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
the script and you get me. That's the deal, But what's going on at the time are these very cynical films. And then here comes the movie that's about an underdog. And he's like, okay, I know I'm not going to win this fight. Going the distance. That's the win. And in the end, he gets his moral victory, if not the physical one. Now, they go to the Oscars that year. And remember, 1976, the Oscars still count for something.
Yep.
And you've got these movies like Network and stuff like that are nominated up against Rocky. Yeah. And Rocky wins. Rocky wins Best Picture.
Remarkable achievement.
Yeah. And my thought with this is we're kind of seeing the same thing. Here we are, 50 years later, 2026.
Yep.
What are we seeing? We are once again seeing kind of this post-war, cynical, nihilistic, oh, woe is us, America sucks movies over and over and over again. Now, guess what? We have a movie about the making of Rocky.
Yep.
What if I Play Rocky wins Best Picture? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
I would love that. And I haven't even seen the movie. So that's why I want to see it. And I am a big supporter of that movie, even though I've seen just the trailer.
You have the films that came out this month, the Odyssey and The Obsession. And more people went to go see an Obsession, and more people liked and spent the money uh, uh, on the Obsession, and then the Obsession's getting more critically acclaimed by word of mouth by people who've seen it. Versus nobody that I know of is really talking about the Odyssey, except
Yeah.
for some YouTubers who basically said what it is. What it is. It's a shit show. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
I
crap
mean, look
show.
at it, look at it this way. I mean, they make such a big deal, right? Out
Yeah,
of it, it's trending, and it's trending on this platform. People are talking
yeah.
about it on this platform. I look on these platforms. I don't see
Uh-huh.
anybody talking about the artist,
Nobody.
buddy. A movie can make a whole lot of money. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people who go to see it like it. Are people going back to see it multiple times? I haven't heard anybody say they saw it more than once. Even the people who say they like it, have they gone to see it more than once? Will it make its money back? I'm sure it probably will. Um, but the thing that they are not taking into account is, yes, you can make the production budget back, and they've probably already done that. But what you got to take into account is marketing. You got to take, which is probably another 150 million. You got to think about, well, how much do they owe the studio? How much do they owe the theaters? You know, um, how much money is Christopher Nolan himself taking away from this? Um, and then all of those big names that you put into your film, they're doing this for free? No. So that's another thing you got to take into account. Um, Horror King says The Backrooms, second best horror film, came out this year. At least that's what I think. Yeah, that's a really good movie too. And I've heard they're actually re-releasing it in theaters.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that did pretty well the first time around. So for sure. Horror King says Iron Lung not only follows the lore of the game and also adds to the lore. Nice. Chirac says I plan on watching the re-release of T2 in theaters in August. Indeed. And Chirac says he'd like to see Jimmy in the theater as well.
What's Jimmy?
Why? I don't know.
Oh.
And that was his breakout role. Yes, Rocky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's only one thing about I Play Rocky. That's the Downers. Can anyone write a script and make a deal to star in a film when Hollywood is dead? I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, would Rocky get made today?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
No.
not.
Who would go see a movie in the IMAX theater twice? Rich people. Yeah, I don't think every movie needs to be on IMAX. Horror King says I found out Asylum is making it their own version of the Odyssey, and it looks good. I don't. It actually kind of does. Yeah.
The one from the mid '90s that was made for TV was probably so much better than this one.
Yeah.
And I seen that they showed this. They had the original Cyclops from the original made for TV movie. I believe Armand Asante played Matt Damon's character, Odysseus.
Odysseus.
Yeah.
Or Ulysses if you're Latin. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, last Monday night on Troy's member stream, we watched Ulysses, which was the Kirk Douglas version, and
Oh.
from the 50s, and that's pretty good as well. I mean, it compresses a lot of things, but um, but I would still rather watch that again. And I had forgotten that I had actually seen it, until they got to a certain part, and I'm like, oh, this is that movie. Okay, yeah. And then I remembered. But all right, Tree Rock, with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and show this.
Okay.
Oh, the movie about Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a Jimmy Stewart biopic with the kid from Riverdale
Huh.
who played Archie, playing Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, that looks good.
Wow.
It's basically about him kind of during and after World War II. Looks interesting. I don't know if it's going to come out before the end of the year or not, but
What was
that might be good.
what was Jimmy Stewart's first hit movie? Was it the Christmas movie that he did? It's
Well,
a Wonderful Life, or was it?
well, that was after the war. He had done a bunch of films before.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think Philadelphia Story was before, and I think You Can't Take It With You was before the war.
Or was it The Man Who Came to Dinner?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. So, Reed says they're on YouTube. You even got them saved for later. There's a '90s version of Jason and the Argonauts. Cool.
Missed that one, but that'd be worth a look.
All right, I am going to buy Tree Rock's request. I'm going to share this out to you guys. This is something that he's put together. I hope everybody can see this. All right, and this is what he's been working on.
It kind of looks like a bird of prey ship.
Yeah, let me. Oh, sorry. Let me.
Wrong
button. Wrong button, you idiot. All right, so it's that should be full screen for you guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty outstanding detail there, Chirok. I like what I'm seeing here.
No, is that a Spaceball ship? It's just a Spaceball destroyer ship.
That actually looks cool. I'm digging this. Yeah.
Those are some mighty cannons.
Cool.
Will you look at the artillery on that beauty?
He says there are other ships of the fleet, but they are not ready yet. Right on.
Groovy.
All right, well, let us know.
Groovy, Tree Rock.
Because cannons are rail guns. Right on. Cool.
So yeah, I'm sure you may or may not seen the Ryan Reynolds Crash Hall H, and this weekend was the San Diego Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Ryan Reynolds crashing?
I don't know. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. It's just whatever. Deadpool. I get it.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, man. He showed up in cosplay, and that was that was pretty cool. It wasn't Deadpool red. It was like Deadpool in gray,
Mm.
but it was still a Deadpool costume, and it was actually him. Can you imagine just being amongst normal people and you're this big celebrity, nobody knows you, or just a normal cosplayer? How
Yeah,
great
no,
is
that's
that?
fun. That's fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
And you imagine it. You imagine to pull off a picture with this guy who's cosplaying, and then it turns out, holy shit, it was
It
actually
was
Ryan
actually.
Reynolds. Oh, that would have blown my mind, man.
Oh, I
That
didn't know he
that's
did all that, but
yeah,
yeah, okay, that's cool.
yeah.
I'll give him that.
They
That's cool.
were that was a big, you know, Marvel's going hard and trying to promote their Avengers coming out in December. But there was also Spaceballs uh, there in Hall H.
Yeah, they're
So
doing they are doing the Spaceballs
yep,
sequel.
yep.
Yeah.
And Rick Moranis has come out of retirement to rekindle the role of the Dark Helmet. So
Yes.
that will be something to see, something to watch, something to look forward to. As the original came out in 1988. What a great time.
Reed and hello to Read by Nature. Miranda got a standing ovation. That was good to see at least.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool.
Indeed. Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he literally left the industry to raise his kids. So what a great father, what a great person for doing that.
Mhm.
And you can't blame him. I mean, it just makes you love him more, you know.
Indeed. And all right. Good night, Horror King. He's
And night,
several
sir.
hours ahead of us, so yes,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
get some
We
sleep.
understand it's late in your neck of the woods. So good night,
Indeed.
sir.
Good night. Chirok says, I heard the reboot of Battlestar Galactica is dead, and I say good. Yes, because it's going to be hard to top
Yeah.
that Sci-Fi Channel version. I think, again, I don't think that unless you have another way to approach it, like Galactica did, the Sci-Fi Channel version, unless you can come at it from another direction, and build some lore around it. There's no point really in doing another one. If anything, I would like to have seen. I would like to have seen the original series get some kind of closure, and I know that Richard Hatch, who's also in the Sci-Fi Channel version, completely different character, but he's in it. He tried to get that original show back on, so that they could get an ending, and he worked for many years trying to get that to happen. And sadly, it didn't help. But yeah, I would definitely like to. I would like to have seen that, or that original series get an ending and see where those characters would have ended up.
Yeah.
The guy who starred in the Beethoven movies did the same, though he passed away a few years back. Yeah, he did. He was another one who was kind of left for a while to raise his kids. Yeah. Let me see. What about the Babylon 5 reboot? I hope that's dead too. Babylon 5 does not need a reboot. Babylon 5 is perfectly fine the way it is. Leave it alone.
That was very few people have seen it. It's out there. It's available to watch on, I'm sure, Pluto or one of those channels, one of those networks. But it's readily available to watch. So if you haven't seen it, you can probably go see it on one of those platforms.
Reed says, I don't like what I heard of the previous attempt to reboot B5. Sounded like Straczynski was bowing to modern Hollywood. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he was planning to do. I know there was an animated film. I haven't watched it yet, even though I'm getting to be as bad as Corey. It's like these movies that I actually own movies I have not watched, so I need to. And the Babylon 5 animated film is one of them, and I need to sit down and I need to sit down and rewatch the whole thing, to be perfectly honest. Because I have the whole thing, even Crusade, the spin-off series. Because it's the same here and it's still awesome. Yet Battlestar Galactica 1980 does not exist.
Well, what is your opinion if they go forward with a rumored sequel to the Goonies? What do you think of that? I don't know. Just don't know what it could do to make that good or relevant today. I mean, because it's so good and it stood the test of time and will continue to stand the test of time for quite a while as a one-off.
I would say leave it alone. The only version of the Goonies that I would accept now, everybody who's still alive has to come back.
Yeah.
Everybody. And Robert Davi and Joe Pantoliano, that means putting your shit aside and working together. Because I know you two are a pain in the neck on that film. But everybody who's still alive today has to come back, and you got to do something.
Well, I just don't know who
is as good as like a Top Gun Maverick. It's got to be on that level.
I wonder.
I don't see. I can't think of what the story would be. I'm sure people out there have ideas about what they would do, but unless it was going to be something that was really special and really good, and something that could be, and something that had the rewatchability that the original movie had.
Yeah,
fine.
I just don't know who pushes for these sequels to these one-off films that It would have to be something standing in that. I've already heard talks about it's going to deal with the Goonies and their children, their children. So so they're introducing some new kids. There's going to be another Ghostbusters after what was that sequel? Afterlife, After Death, or something.
Mm-hmm.
So is it going to be something along the lines? Otherwise, leave it the heck alone. These films don't need, and the Back to the Future. Nobody needs to ever try to recreate those films. They're fine the way they are. Don't ever try. Even I know Zemeckis has said time and time again, as long as he's alive, these films will never be remade or never redone. So is somebody in the whims waiting for
Reed says, from what I recall, B5 had a big closeout. It told its main story. It could continue in that universe like Trek did with TMG, in my opinion. a reboot seems kind of pointless and comes with more baggage. Indeed, if you did, you know, you could do something within the world, within the universe of Babylon 5, and not touch the lore of the show. Now, if you could go on and do something about, about the Rangers. You could do a show about fighter pilots within the world of Babylon 5. You could, there are so many things that you could do. You don't need to reboot it. You can tell a story within that universe. That's all you really need. Yeah. Otherwise, I say just leave it alone. Reed says, if it weren't for a world of endless sequels and reboots, I'd entertain it more. Yeah, that's another problem. Is I'm tired of these like sequels and all that and reboots and all that. They're not necessary. Didn't like the last season of B5. 2-part Sleeping Light episodes were good enough. Season 5 damaged some of the characters. I got to revisit it, I guess. One of the things that I know kind of changed was the fact that the fellow who played the original captain got sick and had to leave the show because he was like schizophrenic. And that was starting to affect things on set. So they had to write him out and create Bruce Boxleitner's character. So it changed some of the plans that they had for that show. And that's kind of the other thing, is that one of the reasons why I don't want to reboot or remake was because I thought the actors they had were perfectly fine in the roles they were in. And a lot of them have unfortunately passed. There's very few of them left. I would just to be quick about it, just leave Babylon 5 alone. Leave it like it was. It told its story. Let that main story lie. Like I said, if you want to set something in that universe, I think enough time has passed that you could do a show like that if you did it well. But otherwise, leave it alone.
Yeah,
that's my opinion on it. I don't need to see. I sure as hell don't need a reboot for it. You couldn't do a sequel series because you don't have all of the actors anymore. You would need and this is something I wish they would do with Star Trek, would be to just, if you're going to have a Star Trek series, number one, get away from this Kurtzman crap.
Yeah.
Just let Star Trek Continues be a thing. Let Axanar be a thing. I'd rather watch that. I'd rather watch the fan made stuff than what they're doing now. Sometimes you just got to let these franchises go, guys, and just let them enjoy them for what they were and just let them go. You don't need to bring them back. It's like beating a dead horse at this point.
I can see why some fans like Star Wars or Star Trek. Yeah, we love those properties, but they've been so tarnished, so destroyed by the current makers. That I don't see there's no way of coming back to making them great again. Either Star Trek or Star Wars. They're too far gone. They've been too tarnished, too destroyed, and that's why I dissociated my name from the Jedi build over to the Outlaw because it's too far gone. It's too far dead. It's just there's no coming back from that to make it great again. I would yes, would I love to see it turn be great again? Sure, but I don't. There's in reality, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and I don't. Nobody has. I don't think it's a problem. I think the problem is that the people who make these things, the writers and makers of these things, they never really loved the original stuff. What came before it? None of it, what I've seen, has been made with love, whether it be Star Trek or Star Wars. Has made with true love, with true fandom. None of it. It's just a dead entity. They're dead. They're paperweight. There's no coming back from it. I mean, I may be wrong, but I don't see a way back for either of the franchise.
Yeah, they should have just, especially with Star Wars, they should have just either left it alone or just followed what Lucas wanted them
Yeah,
to do.
Lucas had an outline. They tossed it in the trash, and you know, no, we're just gonna do what we want with it because we own it now.
No, but the point was, and then the first thing that Kathleen Kennedy does is she goes and she decanonizes the EU. The
Yeah,
EU no longer exists, and then proceeds to cherry pick things out of it. And how's that working out for you?
She's no longer at Disney, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumor was that she left. At least that's what I saw.
Yeah, well, I've been hearing that for 10 years. I'll believe it when I see it. Tree Rock says Star Wars and Star Trek are dead because there isn't a new generation of fans for those properties, and that's the problem.
Yep.
Is that you threw away the fans that you had. Yep.
Get in bed. Kapla! Resident Klingon in the house.
Mark Malnikoff, good to see you, sir. Right at the end, once again, we do have to start wrapping it up because in about 10 minutes, our pal Troy Pacelli will return with the next two episodes of Doctor Who, starring the true original First Doctor, William Hartnell. He's fine. His sidekicks, it'd be so much easier if he just did. If he was alone in this, it'd be so much easier. Oh my God, these people. What are they going to do now? Anyway.
Yes, T-Rock. Yeah, at least we have the original. Some are pretty good. Old school video games.
Oh,
absolutely.
So, while we do have a couple of minutes left, though, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this Atari cinematic universe that they're starting? Yeah,
Atari.
They're making. The plan is to make like 10 of the original Atari games into films.
Depends on the game.
Yeah. Well, I know they have like Missile Command in there. That could be good. They want to do Pong as a movie. I'm like, huh? and I'm like, I actually like what Troy and Boomer brought up earlier, that a good way to make Pong as a movie would be make a movie out of the creation of the game.
Yeah,
that would be cool. So I'd actually be fine with that. WTF? That's what I said.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for this Matchbox car movie?
What? No.
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Matchbox.
Matchbox.
Yep. Not even a Hot Wheel.
What they're going to do a Hot Wheels movie. This isn't it.
We have a Mattel theme park in Arizona that hasn't even opened yet. They got roller coasters that are unfinished and don't even know where they're going. And they built it on the hottest place on earth. They built it in Glendale, Arizona. Like, what the hell were they thinking?
Oh, boy.
It's not indoors. It's not outdoors. It's supposed to be at this Barbie and Mattel theme park, and it's not even open yet. I think we're supposed to open this summer. But we're still, 3 or 4 months out of the year, we're talking days on end of 105 temperature or more. What the hell were they thinking? Mattel and Barbie? What the I don't know if this theme park's ever going to open, but it's over by where the Arizona Cardinals play. And it hasn't even opened yet. I don't know if it will ever open, but you can go look it up on YouTube. YouTube's like a search engine. And you can see that they got roller coasters that are done and don't go nowhere. And a Barbie Land and a theme, like a water park, and it's like a hotel. Not even open yet. Don't know when or who the hell put forth the money to make this, but we have a Motel and Barbie thing park that hasn't even opened here in Arizona. Craziness.
Yeah, Jessica Biel's is going to be in the in that Matchbox movie. Yeah. She's still hot though, man. Whew. Best thing about that whole damn trailer. For that
Jessica Biel?
Like, yeah. Jessica Biel and John Cena
was in what? Blade 3? And it was like 9 years ago when they announced that new Blade movie with what's his name to be Blade, and it still has never been made.
Yeah, they're not going to do that now.
Yeah, thank God. That was such a pet. There's only one Blade.
Okay. Here are the movies that are going to be. Here are the 10 Atari games that are in this planned cinematic universe. Asteroids, Adventure, Berserk, Breakout, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Millipede, Missile Command, which between that and Asteroids, I'm actually kind of hyped for. Pong, like I said, Pong, and Yar's Revenge.
Oh. They'll be lucky to get off one movie.
We'll see. The internet is going to crucify me now. I made Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Don't worry about it. I only saw that earlier today myself because I had to go. What? Anywho, we do have to get going because we have to get everybody over to Troy's channel for Doctor Who. So, Bill, tell the folks what you have coming up.
Well, right now, we got Action Theater of the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones, the last true Indiana Jones film. That'll be Thursday at its regular time on the Deleted Scenes and Outlaw Build channels.
Quick question from Connie. What do you both think of the continuation of The Last Starfighter? I know there's a comic. I've heard some decent things. But it's going to have to be like everything else. I don't know. You have to.
Did you know that Atari was actually going to make the video game that was featured in the film an actual video game? But then it got renamed to be another. It couldn't do it for some reason. And it got made into another game, but there was this whole thing planned for it.
Go ahead.
I've seen it in a recent YouTube video talking about The Last Starfighter and the alternate ending and what could have been. But that is all.
All right. As for myself, you can join me Tuesday at 7 p.m. for the Mystery Movie Night podcast. And right after that for live from Sparkwood 21 at 8:30. Thursday, of course, as Bill said, Action Theater. And then later on that night at 11 p.m., Coming Attractions, where you will get to find out what I'm doing next week, up to and including my appearance Saturday night on Films with Friends. And that'll be on August the 1st with Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Hey, so Bill, any last words for the folks before we wrap the show?
Nope. Just to be excellent to one another, party on, and we'll see you at the next one.
And as I always say at the end of every broadcast, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win. I'm going to go ahead and do a hard out and get everybody over to Troy's channel for Doctor Who. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night.